It was a calm afternoon in a small American town. John, a retired teacher in his 70s, sat quietly by the window. In his hands was a letter from his doctor. His heart felt heavy as he read the words, "You have high blood pressure. Please take this seriously." John looked out at the garden, where Mary, his wife of more than 40 years, was tending to her roses. He had always been strong and full of energy, the kind of man who hardly ever visited hospitals. Yet now, at this age, life seemed to whisper a reminder. Health is fragile, and time is precious. With a sigh, John closed his eyes, memories of the past flooding back. His father had also suffered from high blood pressure, which eventually led to a stroke. Fear crept into John's heart. But then Mary's voice rang out, warm and steady. "John, we can face this together. It's not the end. It's a new beginning. We just need to learn, to adjust, and to take one step at a time." That was the moment John realized. High blood pressure was not just a diagnosis. It was an invitation to live differently, more carefully, and perhaps more meaningfully. Part 2. What is high blood pressure? High blood pressure, or hypertension, is often called the silent killer. Why? Because most of the time, it doesn't hurt. You don't feel sick. You don't feel weak. Yet quietly, day by day, it puts extra strain on your heart, your arteries, your kidneys, and even your brain. Imagine a garden hose. When the water pressure is too high, the hose wears out faster. In the same way, when blood pressure is too high, blood vessels age and weaken more quickly. That is why hypertension increases the risk of stroke, heart attack, kidney disease, and vision loss. For John, this knowledge was both frightening and enlightening. He realized that although he felt fine most days, something hidden inside him was silently at work. He had to act, not tomorrow, not someday, but today. Part 3. The signs and symptoms. High blood pressure rarely announces itself. Still, there are subtle signs: headaches, dizziness, blurry vision, chest discomfort, or fatigue. John remembered the nights when he would wake up with a pounding headache, or the times he felt strangely tired after just a short walk. At first, he dismissed them as normal aging. But now, with the doctor's letter in hand, those small signals suddenly made sense. They were not just random inconveniences. They were warnings, gentle but serious, calling him to listen to his body. Mary reminded him gently, "Your body has been talking to you, John. Maybe now is the time to really listen." Part 4. The causes. As John and Mary began reading more, they discovered the many causes of high blood pressure. Some were things John could not change: his age, his family history, the natural stiffening of blood vessels over time. But many others were within his power: eating too much salt, carrying extra weight, not moving enough, stress and worry that piled up day after day, too much alcohol, not enough sleep. John realized something powerful. He was not helpless. Yes, he had inherited certain risks from his father, but he also had choices to make, choices that could change the course of his own story. Part 5. Living with high blood pressure. The first days were hard. Taking pills every morning felt strange. Adjusting meals, cutting back on salt, and going for walks instead of sitting in front of the TV required effort. But Mary stood by his side. She joined him in every walk. She learned new recipes that were both tasty and heart-friendly. Together, they turned what could have been a lonely struggle into a shared journey. Slowly, John noticed changes. His headaches lessened. His sleep became deeper. His doctor, during the next visit, smiled. "Your numbers are improving. Keep going." John felt hope return. For the first time, he saw high blood pressure not as a curse, but as a teacher, pushing him to live with more care, more awareness, and more gratitude. Part 6. Prevention. What we can do today. High blood pressure may sound frightening, but the good news is much of it can be prevented. John's story teaches us simple but powerful lessons. Move more. A daily walk in the fresh air does wonders. Eat wisely. Less salt, more vegetables, more fruits, more whole grains. Maintain a healthy weight. Even losing a few pounds helps lighten the heart's workload. Manage stress. Prayer, meditation, music, or simply quiet moments with loved ones. Avoid smoking and limit alcohol. Regular checkups, because prevention begins with awareness. John realized that prevention is not just about living longer. It's about living better. About enjoying mornings without headaches, afternoons without fatigue, evenings filled with laughter instead of worry. Part 7. Foods that help Mary became creative in the kitchen. She brought home foods that were both delicious and healing: bananas and avocados, rich in potassium; spinach, kale, and leafy greens, natural friends of the heart; oats and whole grains, gentle yet powerful in lowering cholesterol; beans, lentils, nuts, and seeds, full of fiber and protein; fish rich in omega-3, like salmon and mackerel, to calm inflammation; berries, sweet but protective, like little gifts from nature. Their table became not just a place to eat, but a place to heal. Each meal was an act of love, a daily medicine without a bitter taste. Part 8. A New Hope. One evening, John sat with his journal. He wrote, "I used to fear high blood pressure. Now I see it as a second chance, a reminder that life is precious and that every heartbeat matters." He looked at Mary, smiled, and held her hand. They had faced storms together before, and this was just another one. With knowledge, with love, with steady steps, they would keep walking, side by side. High blood pressure was no longer just a diagnosis. It had become a teacher, a motivator, and strangely, a blessing in disguise. Part 9. A Gentle Invitation. Dear friends, John's story may be your story, or the story of someone you love. We all want to stay healthy, to enjoy more days of laughter, more evenings of peace, more moments with family. And that is possible if we begin today with small but steady steps. If this story has touched your heart, if it has given you hope or encouragement, I warmly invite you to subscribe to this channel. Here, you will find more stories, more gentle guidance, more practical wisdom to support you on your journey to health. Every subscription is more than just a number. It is a hand held out in friendship, a reminder that we are walking this path together. So please, take a moment to subscribe. Together, let us keep building lives filled with health, peace, and joy. From my heart to yours, I wish you strength, healing, and many bright tomorrows. Closing message. High blood pressure does not have to define your story. With knowledge, love, and action, it can become the reason you live longer, stronger, and with deeper gratitude. And together, as a community, we can make that journey lighter.